You brought a lawsuit against a careless driver or maybe a careless doctor. And now, as your case goes to trial, the defense isn't ready to try the case. They need additional time. Is there a way to use that inability to try the case to try and get you more money to try and settle your case? You want to know the answer? Come join me for a moment as I share with you some great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. The answer is maybe yes and maybe no. So let me tell you what I mean. So now you brought a lawsuit against someone who you believe was careless. Maybe it was a careless driver that caused your accident. Maybe it was a careless doctor who caused you significant harm and injury. And now your case goes all the way to trial. And just before trial, the judge says to everybody, to the attorneys, say, okay, counselors, you ready to go to trial? The defense says, no, judge, we're not. We need additional time. Your attorney says, yes, judge, we're ready to go. Can that encourage the defense to come up with additional money or more money than you otherwise might have gotten? The answer is, it's possible. And I'll tell you what I mean. You see, when your case comes up for trial, the judge wants to know from all the attorneys what everybody's settlement posture is. Hey, defense counsel, are you willing to negotiate? Yes or no? If so, how much money do you have? The defense may not be ready to negotiate. They may not have conferenced this matter with their principals, with the people who are in charge of deciding whether or not they're going to start negotiating, and if so, how much money they're going to offer. If this is the first time in a pretrial conference where the judge wants to know whether or not each side is willing to negotiate, if the defense says, listen, we need additional time, in all likelihood, in the state of New York, in state court cases, the judge will give them additional time to go ahead, get their information, conference the matter with the people that need to be conferenced, and now come back a certain time later. It might be a few weeks, it might be a few days, it might be a few months later. So now when all the attorneys come back for the second pretrial conference, the judge again wants to know, okay, defense counsel, what's the settlement position? Are you willing to negotiate? If so, how much are you willing to offer? Yes or no? How much? And now, if the defense again turns around and says, Judge, we still haven't had a chance to do anything and to conference this matter, there are some judges who will still allow the case to get pushed back a little bit to give the defense an opportunity to go ahead and do their final conference. On the other hand, there are some judges who say, no, you had your chance, you failed to use it, now you're going to trial. I'm setting this case down for trial date, for jury selection, make sure you're there. There'll be no adjournments. In that instance, where the judge has now put pressure on the defense and says, listen, you're not getting any additional adjournments, meaning you can't push this off any further, now the defense has to make a decision. Either yes, we're going to try and negotiate, or no, we're going to trial. One or the other. Those judges who put pressure on both sides, not just the defense, both sides, typically they have a better resolution rate than ones who simply say, okay, no problem, come back in another month, come back in another month, come back in 2 months, come back in 3 months. Because then it just gets pushed off. But a judge who simply turns around and says, listen, this is no nonsense here. You either come back and give me an answer, or you go ahead and start picking a jury. Which one is it? So now let's say the judge has given the defense multiple opportunities, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, to give the judge an answer about whether or not they're willing to try and negotiate. And if they are, how much? At that point, the judge may turn around and say, go pick a jury. There's a good likelihood that the judge, after hearing multiple excuses by the defense, turns around and says, you know what, go pick a jury now. And the defense lawyer is going to get all upset and say, Judge, I'm not ready to try this case. The lawyer who's responsible for trying this case is unavailable. And in all likelihood, if the judge turns around and says, I don't care, go pick a jury right now, I expect you down in jury selection in 5 minutes, now he's put significant pressure on the defense to get him an answer. And that will likely prompt a phone call to the insurance company and hopefully generate some type of response, so now they make an offer to try and settle the case. So, to go back and answer the question I raised at the beginning of this video, if the defense is not ready to try the case, will it help or hurt your case or help you try and get additional money? The answer is it might, but then again it might not. It all depends upon how much time the judge has allowed the defense to push this case off, to do a final conference with the people they need to get answers from before coming to a decision about whether or not they're going to offer money to settle this case or they need to go to trial. So why do I share this great information with you? I share it with you just to give you an insight into what goes on in these civil cases here in New York involving accident matters, medical malpractice matters, and even wrongful death matters. You know, I understand you're watching this video because you likely have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen here in New York and you're thinking about bringing a lawsuit, but haven't done so yet because you still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at Oginski-law.com. Well, that's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day.